Hello, I'm Kads, and welcome to today's video. So once again, the portal is alight, and that means it is time for 2x sacreds. As you can see here, I have 51 sacred shards, and we're going to be pulling we're going to be pulling about hopefully up to 6 or 7 depending on the RNG, but as usual we're going to be going for the legendary tome from the Champion Chase tournament at 3,000 points. Now, worst case scenario, this would take up to 12 sacreds. However, we are going to offset this today by pulling 2 of our Fragment Summon Champion legendaries. The first one is going to be Pythion, our most recent fusion, who I'm really excited to use in Iron Twins, maybe some Sand Devil, and maybe a few other things, definitely Faction Wars. So there's an easy 500 there. And the second one is going to be Gomlock Skyhide, who is required or mandatory for the Ramontu missions. So there we go, another 500 points there, and that mission is finally complete. So as you guys can see here, basically Ramontu is done on my account. I've been done with it for a few weeks now, and I've just been waiting for a good champion chase, like right now, to summon Gomlock, and all I need to do is once again get back to floor 120 on hard and beat it, which I can definitely do on all rotations. So Ramontu on my account is actually done. So it's going to take a few days to get back up since the rotation just started for this Doom Tower, but once I do that, I'll be able to summon Ramontu probably in 2 weeks when there's another champion chase tournament. So as usual, for transparency, I always like to show you guys my Mercy tracker. I use a spreadsheet, but you guys can use a tool like RSL Helper to track this for yourselves. And as you can see, we are fresh off a legendary. I pulled a duplicate Skullord Vargal a week ago during the Summon Rush for Pythion, and that reset my Mercy, so we are 1 outside of Mercy. And for 2x Sacreds, you have about a 1 in 8 chance to pull a legendary, so the odds are fairly decent, but we could also get absolutely nothing, and that would be okay. So speaking of getting nothing, let's talk about the champions I actually want on my wish list, although nowadays I should really be calling it my Copium list. Unfortunately, it hasn't changed, so we're still looking for Duck the Pierced Orc for Faction Wars. I've already beaten Faction Wars. I have Lydia, but I do want him because I do think he's superior as a debuffer to Zargala. He's a little bit tankier and survivable. I'm also looking for some Dwarves, some Sylvan Watchers, and some Dark Elves, just for pure Faction Guardian benefits. For Legendaries, looking for a Poison Exploder. I have everything else. I just need the Detonators. Valkyrie for Demon Lord Clan Boss, because I'd like to do some interesting stuff with a traditional team. And Molly Tankard, because of the No Contact Provoke, and that would be very helpful for Tag Team Arena. All right, let's get into the pulls. Worst case, I have to pull 8 sacreds here, but even then, I still will guarantee that I get the legendary tome, so I won't be that sad overall. So we've got the space, we've got the cash, and hopefully we've got the luck. Shard number 1 is going to be right out of the gate with an epic. Although that is a dwarf, that's helpful. Grizzard Jarl, useful because he does have increased defense and block debuffs, so he can be somewhat helpful for Demon Lord Clan Boss, traditional teams, or just trying to make your team affinity friendly. Number 2 is going to be a dupe Magnar, one of the hardest hitting HP based nukers in the game with this double hitter if you can get the condition, which is pretty easy to do if they're not under HP burn. So huge shout out for Magnar, one of my favorite epic nukers in the game. Number 3 is going to be our legendary... Oh, it actually is! And it's Borgar the Elder, who is a dupe. I mean, that's a Faction Guardian for legendary dwarves. That's some HP, so I can't be too bummed. That's not what we're looking for. But Borgar, one of the 2 or 3 champions who has an increased resistance buff with increased speed on a 4-turn cooldown, and he also has a full cleanse with a, or no, sorry, not full cleanse, a 1 debuff. Oh, that's kind of bummer. But he removes 1 debuff and then places a shield on all allies. So decent support HP based champion. Don't really see him use that much because increased resistance requires you to take a turn, which requires you to be faster, and resistance is not as much of a meta nowadays. So there we go, 3 shards in, 1 legendary. That might have been the 1 in 8, so we'll see what happens here. Shard number 4 is another epic, and that is Suren. I don't remember what she does. Poisons on the A1, and weaken, and AoE decreased defense that is not 100% chance. Ah, yes, I remember her. That was very disappointing. There should be 100% chance, because then we'd have a debuffer reliable for the Shadowkin Faction Wars. So a quick check on our progress here. We were at 2250 on the points, so we up to 3 more shards to go to get the legendary tome. Let's keep going here. Next shard is going to be an epic. Canoness, recently buffed, I think. Now she has a reasonable cooldown on the ally protection on a single target. And she also has... I thought this was an AoE. Oh, maybe not. Well, single target, decrease accuracy, and a leech. That's kind of a bummer. I thought that was an AoE leech. So, still kind of bad. I don't know. Ally protection on one ally and then continuous heal on everyone. I guess she's a better healer. I mean, it's a 2-turn cooldown on continuous heal, so maybe that has its perks. But ally protection on one champion is kind of a rip. So 2,500, up to 2 shards to go, and definitely 2 shards to go. Oh, Tagore. He's a new champion for my account. He has a reviver, but it's not auto-friendly, I guess we could say. So that's a bummer. He's one of the ones who will just place the shield just because and not revive anyone when they're actually dead. So that's always sad. But if you're really struggling with Orc Faction Wars and you need a reviver and you want to do it on manual, then he will definitely work for you. So he's a good support. He also can heal and place increased speed. So decent Faction Wars support champion for Orcs. And the last shard here, all in for the legendary tome, is another epic, and it is an Enda Moonbeam, which is a dupe, which means I finally have my first pair of Faction Guardians for the Sylvan Watchers. So if we double check our math here, go away offers. If we double check, we should have exactly 3,000 points. It might not be updated. Yeah, 3,000 and some change from some mystery shards. And there we go. Maxed out the champion chase with 7 sacred. So we got to save 1 with the legendary there. And of course, as is tradition, we have our Soulstone Summons to accompany our shards. I have a good set of 20 here that we can pull. And that will also get me an Immortal Soulstone. So we will be pulling one of those as well. Here we go. Big 10 popper. With a bunch of rares, but that S tier 6-star legendary coming up right after this one, or not. Oh, Ironclad, that'll be good on the wish list. Oh wow, I think that's my first 6-star soul there, but that's a 6-star for Executioner, which I don't use, so that's a bit sad. But I think that's Phantom Touch for Ironclad. 3-star for Basher. Ooh, that might be useful too, actually. Probably Chainbreaker, that one that I use on all my like accuracy epics. The second set of 10 here is gonna be absolute dog. 1-star for Haikatoon. All right, not much there to say. So click these 2, and then we can buy 1 immortal here, just 1, and we can pop this bad boy, and we're getting real close to that first eternal. Real close. And it's an epic 5-star, useful 6-star Runekeeper Dazzler, who I don't actually have. That is unfortunate. Well, I'm probably going to hold on to that one. I don't think I ever would use him, but 6 stars are kind of rare. So there you go. There's the Soulstone Summons for this weekend. Alrighty, so that's going to do it for today's video for this epically awesome 2x Sacred Weekends. So in summary here, I was able to get my first pair of Faction Guardians for the Sylvan Watchers, so I can't say I didn't get anything I wanted. I technically did get a Dwarf Faction Guardian as well. Unfortunately, it's the Legendaries and not the Epics I was looking to finish out. But honestly, I can't really say unfortunately, right? So it's 10% HP for all of my Legendary Dwarves, which is like Brogni and Herndig, so it's pretty helpful. But we're still in the market for the last slot of the dwarves here, and I thought Grizzled Jarl was the next one, but I already had a copy of him, so he's the 3rd, which is always sad. So, but I'll hold on to him in case I get a 4th one, and then we can get that glorious 6-speed. Did not get any Dark Elves for one reason or another. I am allergic to Dark Elf dupes. and I just cannot pull any Dark Elves to save my life. So all of those grinds will continue. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to hit that like button down below and leave a comment with what you pulled this weekend, if you got a Kymar, if you didn't get a Kymar, or whatever else legendaries you may or may not have gotten. If you've been enjoying this and other videos on the channel, then also feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.